This time I call the June meeting of the Haywood County Board of Education to order. This time I'd like to ask Mr. Jimmy Rogers if he'd lead us in the board prayer, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Let us pray. Kind, gracious Heavenly Father, again, we want to thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Lord, we want to thank you for the many opportunities you've given us. Good times and bad times, Lord. Let's always remember that you're with us. You're guiding us through everything that we do. Lord, we pray that you give us strength and guidance. Be with all those with Haywood County, surrounding counties. With the closure of our meal, Lord, we know you're still in control, and you will help us survive and grow stronger together. Lord, we also want to thank you for such a wonderful school year. Lord, we feel like these children have learned so much. And Lord, we pray for their safety all during this summer. For those who have not graduated and turning a new chapter in their lives. Lord, we pray that all those children have a good, safe summer and return with us this fall for another good learning year. Thank you for all of our staff, all the hard work they've done. And Lord, we pray your guidance upon this board as each decision is made for the betterment of education of the children of Haywood County. We pray your guidance upon those decisions so that Haywood County schools, Haywood County, the state of North Carolina, the United States, and the world will know we are the best that we can be through you. We pray all these things in thy precious name. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Just like to announce that Mr. Kirkpatrick and Mr. Francis will not be with us tonight. Mr. Francis had a orientation with his daughter up at Appalachia State, and I think Mr. Kirkpatrick's on vacation this week. So we wish them well, and we'll carry on without them, but just wanted to let you know that that's where they are tonight. Our regular board meeting will be Monday, July the 10th here at the Education Center at 7 o'clock. Are there any other announcements that need to be made? I'd just like to make one comment. The graduation ceremonies were excellent this year, and I thought it's impressive what our kids have done as far as scholarship work and work in the community, and I just want to congratulate each one of our graduates and thank you so much for your contribution to our school system and those that made it possible. Thank you. Are there any agenda adjustments that I need to be made aware of? Is anything from Building and Grounds or?
Building and Grounds has 3 motions to bring to the board tonight.
Okay, we'll do it right after the Finance Committee stuff. Round number 23. Board, I would also like to add an agenda adjustment to during the Building and Grounds discussion. We need to discuss about our property acquisition and the due diligence and some things that have come to light that we need to discuss as a board and talk through. Is there any objection to those? Okay, at this time I'll entertain a motion that they be approved.
Motion.
Mr. Nez made a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The agenda has been set. Dr. Putnam, first up.
So I wanted to take a moment to recognize a fellow a gentleman who's been around Western North Carolina youth sports for a very long time. I could ask Alan Klotz to please come on in. He has served our kids for many, many years through Clyde, through Canton, through Bethel. Doesn't matter where in Western North Carolina. He served as president of that organization, and we just wanted to take a moment to thank him. He's stepping down and stepping aside from youth, and we've got him a certificate here. Alan Klotz, in recognition of 29 and a half years of service to Western North Carolina youth basketball and your positive impact on community sports in Haywood County, awarded the 12th day of June 2023 by Haywood County Schools. Thank you.
Just a quick note here. I know many of the board members, I actually worked with Mr. Henson and Mr. Burnett along the way, and a lot of others in here, and actually had able to coach Mr. Nesbitt's daughter through some travel balls. So anyway, the biggest thing I told Trevor was that, Dr. Putnam, was that the trust that was instilled in myself with the Haywood County Schools, with the facilities mainly, and been able to be entrusted with the kids along the way has just been impactful. And, but it's time to go a little bit and do some other things, I guess, but I'll always be entrenched, and I'll be very grateful to this board and the ones before it when we go on. So I could talk all night, but it's this means a lot. Thank you so much.
We have a couple awards, and when I asked the first gentleman, the other bus driver couldn't make it today, and we have what's called a lug nut award, and we usually give a couple away a year, and I'll read what that says. And it says, a lug nut is a small part of a much larger machine. In comparison to the rest of the bus, it seems small and inadequate. Surely it isn't over important. However, that one small part is a vital part of the bus's integrity and workability. And just like the lug nut keeps the bus going safely, we have some wonderful co-workers who keep the morale together and our department going. The lug nut award is for people who go above and beyond and hold other people up, who don't see a problem with it's not my responsibility, but work with everyone else and shows everyone else kindness, and they're a joy to work with and be around. And our department would like to celebrate these people who work tirelessly to ensure bus operations are fluid and easy. We are fortunate that you're the kind of person that you are, with so much courtesy and goodness. And the first person is Chris Hill. And Chris did an extra bus route when down in White Oak that we all probably know, where they shut the bridge down, and we ended up creating a whole nother route, and he was thinking 3 weeks and ended up like 2 months worth of doing that. So, and another gentleman that isn't here, couldn't be with us, is Mr. Aaron Owenby from Tuscola, and he did multiple routes. When we'd have to combine routes, he would drive multiple routes a day. So those guys just really stood out. We appreciate you.
Carol Fox is going to help me. Since she's announced her retirement, I've been able to talk her into helping me with just about anything. She's got that grin, yes. It's my pleasure to be able to recognize our employees of the year. And so these people all across the board help in lots of different ways, and our schools could not run without them. So the first one that I'm going to recognize is our after-school employee of the year, Jessen Jones. The Haywood County Schools After School Employee of the Year is Jessen Jones from Clyde. Jessen works every afternoon to provide safe after-school care for his students. He always has the child's best interest at heart and is helpful and dependable. Jessen is also a valuable substitute teacher for us. It is with great pleasure that we recognize Jessen Jones for the Haywood County Schools After School Employee of the Year. And if we're going to read them even if they're not here, and we'll take one group picture at the end if that's okay.
The bus driver of the year is Michael Connard. Michael has been driving for Pisgah High School for the past few years. He takes his route and the children's safety seriously. He builds positive relationships with the students and their families, and his positive attitude is contagious. Mr. Connard is dependable and will drive his route no matter what else he has going on. He did not miss a single morning or afternoon route for the 2022-2023 school year. It is my pleasure to recognize Michael Connard as Haywood County Schools Bus Driver of the Year.
Our custodian of the year is given to Larry Irwin. Larry has worked for 26 years to ensure that Bethel Elementary is clean and suitable for children. Larry is an employee that everyone longs to have on staff. He's dedicated, willing to help, and is a jack of all trades. He works very hard every single day and is always willing to keep Bethel the beautiful, Bethel the best. Larry also drives a bus, which is an accomplishment in itself. I'm pleased to honor Larry Irwin for his dedication and hard work as the Haywood County Schools Custodian of the Year.
For the Food Service Employee of the Year, Haywood County Schools Food Service Employee of the Year is Sandra Ammons. Sandra has worked for Haywood County Schools for over 15 years. Her heart for children is apparent in all she does. Sandra is the cafeteria manager at Haywood Early College. She is organized, fair, and easy to talk to. She manages the cafeteria with great pride and goes out of her way to provide fun promotional activities to keep students wanting to eat in the cafeteria. She's always looking for new recipes and special meals to keep them wanting more. It's my pleasure to recognize Sandra Ammons as the Haywood County School Food Service Employee of the Year.
Our Maintenance Employee of the Year is Gary Downs. Gary splits his time between maintenance and school nutrition. He's a pleasure to work with and always smiles and has a good attitude. It doesn't matter what he is doing, he's always willing to help when it's needed. He's a great person to deliver our inter-office mail and greets everyone he comes in contact with. We are honored to recognize Gary as our Maintenance Employee of the Year.
Our Haywood County Schools Instructional Technology Employee of the Year is Julia Goebel. Julia is a true asset to the IT department. She has worked to refine the processes of her job as system administrator. Julia is organized and task-oriented. She has improved the documentation and workflow for many of the IT tasks. She is a true bright spot in the IT department. Congratulations to Julia Goebel as the 2023 Haywood County Schools Instructional Technology Employee of the Year.
Our Instructional Support Employee of the Year is Joan Kennedy. Joan is one of our 5 social workers for Haywood County Schools. She's currently serving students at Tuscola, Riverbend, and Central Haywood High School. There is so much she helps with on a daily basis, from providing food, figuring out transportation, and just simply listening to students so they don't feel isolated or alone. Her coworker said, she spends countless hours pouring into the lives of students, finding the resources needed, and working behind the scenes to provide some stability for our kids. Ms. Kennedy is an integral part of our system, and it is my pleasure to recognize her as the Instructional Support of the Year.
The Office Support Employee of the Year is Miss Julie Hendricks from Waynesville Middle School. She was unable to be with us tonight. Mrs. Hendricks works in the front office and is a great asset to the school. She is described as being the chaos coordinator, and it was noted that one of her special trainings is having grace. Julie invests her time into the Waynesville Middle School family and community. Julie treats everyone with love and respect and is calm and collected in stressful situations. She is quick to help and pitches in wherever needed. Julie handles change like a champ, and I quote, "the glue that holds our school together." Congratulations to Julie Hendricks, Haywood County Schools Office Support Employee of the Year.
Ms. Fox, can I say that Julie Hendricks sent her apologies and that she was committed to work Bible school tonight. So
Oh.
there again, she's
Thank
where
you.
she should be.
Where's that coming from?
Oh, she's like, sorry.
Our next award, the Teacher Assistant of the Year Award, is a posthumous award. The Haywood County Schools Teacher Assistant of the Year is given to Brittany Hipp. Brittany worked in the intensive intervention class at Clyde Elementary and suddenly passed away on May 14th of this year. Brittany loved Clyde Elementary and her kids, both in the classroom and all of the kids on the II hallway. She has been and will continually be missed by all who knew her. Brittany had worked at Clyde since 2016 and was unconditionally devoted to the school and the students. We are honored to recognize Brittany tonight and to honor her memory as the Teacher Assistant of the Year for Haywood County Schools.
The Transportation Employee of the Year is Wes Bradley. Wes is an essential part of the transportation department. He is dedicated to the department and school system alike. He is currently one of our road mechanics and received an auto mechanics degree from Haywood Community College so he can perform safety inspections on regular fleet vehicles. Wes is a hard worker with a good heart. His duties are extremely important, and he is diligent in his performance. He is very well organized and always submits his paperwork in a complete and on-time manner. Wes is an asset to our system, and we are pleased to recognize him as the Transportation Employee of the Year.
Thank you all so much for everything you do every single day for our kids. We could not run the school system without you. Congratulations.
We're talking, no, sorry. Julie had called me on the way.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, it is my pleasure again to be able to recognize our 2022-2023 Haywood County Schools retirees. We want to thank them for their endless service and dedication and commitment to the students in the schools. All of them should have received a gift when they sign their papers, or it will be in their last paycheck. But we definitely want to publicly thank them and recognize them for all the years of service and hard work they gave to us. Some of them may or may not be here. Keita Blankenship, James Owens,
Retirees, you want to walk this way? Come on. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Please. Y'all want to come on in and just
Yeah.
line up behind her as she calls your name?
Michael Harlan, Gray Ross, Dr. Bill Nolte, familiar faces.
Not hugging you here.
Barry Feldman, Karen Stamey, Chris Simpson, Rebecca Massey, Kathy Tomasi, Carol Craig, Judy Johnson, Bob Messer, Susan Evans, Cindy Simpson, Sheila Jones, Rhonda Hargrove, Elaine Hyatt, Cynthia Early, Sally Hunley, Karen Jones, Vicki Messer, Anita Clark, Heidi Singleton, Diana Chin, Dwayne Squires, Crystal McCracken, Cindy Smathers, Rhea Landau, Christina Shadow, Brenna Devlin, Mary Bennett, Barbara Fowler, Lori McLeod, Mark Warlick, Karen Hopkins, Ruth Sterry, Heather Hollingsworth, Linda Rathbone, Alma Wells, Teresa Hines, and Craig Summers. Again, we just can't say enough and thank you enough for all your hard work and everything that you've done for Haywood County Schools. And I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything, but thank you so much for everything.
Y'all will have no problems. All I gotta do is show right there.
It's fantastic. I recommend it.
Okay, Chairman Francis and members of the board, just want to take this time to talk to you for a minute about our Aspiring Administrators Group. This is something Dr. Nolte asked me to do when I first got the job. So fitting he's here tonight, and Dr. Putnam's told me to continue. So it is a great program that we try to do for our teachers in our school that may be interested in an administrative degree. Some of these people are already in school. Some of them are thinking about it and not real sure. And so I'll tell you a little bit about that program. But I will tell you there are people sitting in this room tonight. There are people being named as assistant principals tonight who have completed this. And so I do think it gives them a good opportunity to see what it's like. We started out, they're nominated by their principals, number one, because they see some type of leadership potential in them, and they send us those names. We meet 7 times a year. And so what we do is we dissect a standard from the principal evaluation instrument. And those standards that were covered were micro-political leadership, instructional leadership, strategic leadership, human resource leadership, cultural leadership, external development leadership, and managerial leadership. And so just to give you a little synopsis, we began this year. Dr. Putnam delved into micro-political leadership with them, told them a lot of stories, gave them a lot of great insight, and that's how we kicked it off. We boarded a bus one morning and headed to Haywood Early College and Canton Middle School to discuss all things instructional leadership. Ms. Morris joined us that morning. I'm glad you were able to come along. So thank you to Casey Crook and Lori Fox. They gave really great presentations. Mr. Hines assisted us in a discussion of human resource leadership, and I appreciate that. Mr. Hines, we even met at the bus garage one afternoon, and Allison Francis, Stephen Sharp, and Zach Shove discussed their jobs, and we provided tours of their facilities. And most of them had never been to the bus garage or seen that operation and the maintenance department, so really, really neat. Another meeting, Clint Connor gave an insightful presentation on cultural leadership and the success that he's had at Pisgah leading that school, and I'd like to thank him too. But this group, they are a great group. They are very inquisitive, they're attentive, they were fun, and they just seemed real interested in what was going on. They asked the best questions, so they were super fun, and I just want to recognize them. And then if they'd like to say anything, I said, look, if you become a principal one day, you're going to have to talk to the board. So I'd love for them to say something if they want to, just real quick or not. That's up to them. But Mandy Allen, if you'll come forward. Elizabeth Muse wasn't able to be here tonight. Mr. Kevin Collins. And Mandy's from Bethel Elementary. You want to say something? Okay, next up, Matt Golden from Bethel Middle.
Members of the board, Dr. Putnam, everyone here tonight, thank you for the opportunity to participate in the Aspiring Administrators Academy. It has been a source of encouragement. It's been a new perspective, and it's just, I think, helped each of us kind of be more equipped to take the next step in our career. So we appreciate all of you.
Matt's just recently been accepted to the Principal Fellows Program at Western, so he'll be interning in a couple of years. Okay, up next, Tim Bushnell. Leah Downing. Kristen Stiles. Jamie Freeze. Kristen's from Meadowbrook. Jamie Freeze from Meadowbrook. I promise they talked a lot when they were thinking. Katie Sarles. Joanna Pace. Jesse Wilkins. Heather Phillips. And Jennifer Mahaffey. Okay, come forward and so we can get your picture, but just want to thank y'all so much for your time, and hope you gained a lot, but you sure gave us a lot of hope for our future in Haywood County Schools. So I enjoyed each one of you and getting to know you. So best of luck. Okay, sure.
All right, Chairman Francis, members of the board, for our athletic recognitions this evening, we have our high schools with us, as well as Sportsman's Club. High school is spring sports, just finished up playoffs and whatnot. And first up this morning, we have Tuscola High School, and Austin Chambers, their athletic director, is here to get us kicked off.
Chairman Francis and the board, thank you for having us. We had a great spring at Tuscola High School. Leading us off, we have softball. We have assistant coach here, Clifford Mills, to say all the names of all conference.
Good evening. This is our 2023 Lady Mountaineer softball team. This year they placed third in the conference, and we went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs. They've done a fantastic job, and this is the first time since 2018 that we've made it 3 rounds. You know, I've been blessed because this is my second trip to 3 rounds, so I just feel honored. And our all-conference honors tonight are Katie Arrington, Faith Caldwell couldn't be here. Our next one is Taryn Estes. And Addie Sampson. We have 2 honorable mentions. The first one is Ava Kirkpatrick, and she couldn't be here. And the other one is Allison Setzer. I'm just so proud of these girls. They've done a fantastic job this year.
Alrighty, next up on our list, we have Coach Jody Ward representing baseball. Baseball had a great year. They ended up second in conference.
I'm here tonight. Coach Shepard couldn't make it. He's currently in Charlotte, coaching our what they call state games, helping coach there. We had 5 kids make all conference and had 1 honorable mention. Highlight of our season, finished second in the conference. Took one of the number 1 teams in the state in the second round to the wire. Got beat 2-1. But the accomplishment of this team the most is we finished with a 3.41 GPA, and it was the highest in the state for baseball. So at this time, I would like to recognize, we got some kids that's not here. They're playing state games, but I'm going to recognize the 2 who are here. I'll start with Colt Nelson. Jacob Ward. also had Jet Benson, Evan Connor, he was all honorable mention, and Braden Cockrell and Amos Rich. So those 5, and then Evan was our honorable mention. Very proud of this bunch. 16-8 on the year. Looking forward to next year also. So thank y'all.
Alrighty, next up we have assistant coach Jessica Coward for girls soccer.
Hello. We had 4 ladies that earned awards this year. We had Taylor Solly was honorable mention all conference. Chloe Crisp was all conference and all region. Gracie Rinker was all conference and all region. And neither of the 3 of them were able to be here tonight. We do have our last one is Sophia Weejay Wickrama, and she is here tonight. She was all conference and all region.
Alrighty, next up we have Coach Austin Sluter with golf.
Good evening. We, with golf, we finished 3rd in the conference this year. We got to go to regionals as a team, which is a really big deal for our conference. We had 2 all-conference golfers. The first one is Sam Decker. And our next all-conference player is Jacob Edwards. We're good.
Last but not least, for the Tuscola group, we have Coach Kevin Fitzgerald with track.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Chairman. I'm also joined by Amy Brown, who is one of our coaches on the track team. And we had 15 athletes make all conference on the track team this year. Only 2 of them are with us tonight. Noah Clancy, who is one of our distance runners, and Michaela Hyatt, who is our discus thrower. I'm going to spare you reading the names of the other 13 tonight, but I'm going to continue on with recognizing our, there was one all-conference runner who's not here who had an exceptional meet. She placed 1st in the 800, 1st in the 1600, and 1st in the 3200. Was Eva Rinker, and she was named the Mountain 7 Conference Female Track Athlete of the Year for her efforts on that afternoon over there at North Henderson. And then we're moving on to the all-region. Michaela Hyatt was seated 10th in the discus, placed 4th, and earned herself a qualifying spot in the state meet. Eva Rinker placed 1st in the 800-meter run, 1st in the 1600-meter run. And then at the state meet, Michaela was seated 10th overall in the state and placed 7th. An exceptional day that day. And Eva placed 3rd in the 800 and placed 1st in the 1600, becoming the first female runner in Tuscola school history to win a state championship. And the first athlete at Tuscola for track and field since 1989 to have won a state championship. Eva is on her way to London, so she's not here with us tonight. But that's what happens when you're a state champion. You go to London and Paris and Barcelona after that. But I'd just like to, first of all, thank Coach Amy Brown and Coach Bob Clark for the amazing job they did this year, and all the parents, of course, that support our kids, and school administration, our athletic director, and our principal, and all the support. And also I want to talk about just quickly, because Pisgah is about to come in the door behind us. In track and field, we tend to work together. We don't care which color you're wearing. We share equipment, we share coaches, we share advice, we talk to each other's kids, we cheer each other on, and support each other at our meets. And so I just want to say that that's one of the things that's working really well around here is the camaraderie we have in this county school. So thank you guys for your time.
All right, board members. Next up, we've got Pisgah High School, and their athletic director, Heidi Morgan, is here to get us rolling.
Thank you for having us today. Members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Haynes. First, I would like to introduce Harold Shepard, our varsity baseball coach, who just completed his 23rd year as baseball coach.
Thank you all for having us. Enjoy every opportunity to brag on my kids, and got another chance to brag on them. We had a season. I'm not going to fluff it up. It wasn't what we expected, and it's not what we wanted. Our JVs did very well, and you know the future looks bright for us. Had another kid sign. Just keep adding to that number of kids going on and playing. And you know, I've had an opportunity, as Coach Morgan said, to coach baseball for 23 years here in Haywood County, and I've had the opportunity to have a lot of really good kids grace my dugout, I guess is the best way to say that, and excited about what the future holds. Spoke to one who is a doctor and just finished knee surgery this morning in New York, William Leatherwood. Doing very well for himself, and we had just another doctor finish up just a couple of weeks ago, Thomas Tatham. And what I've got, a small class this year, 3 seniors, all busted their tails and worked hard for me, and you know, I'm excited for what the future holds for them. And at this time, I'd like to recognize a couple. Right now, Andrew Wester. Played for me since he was a sophomore. Andrew was all-conference player 3 years. He has this year received recognition as the co-conference player of the year. Andrew will continue his education at High Point University. I wish that he would go on and play baseball, but he keeps telling me no, and you know the opportunity's been there, but he's going to go to High Point, and based on what his stock market stuff right now, I don't blame him. Walker Fox was our all-conference selection. He is not here. And then we had several honorable mentions, Carson Allison, Eli Rigsby, Eli Ash, and Matthew Roberts. None of those guys are here, unfortunately, but all wonderful young men. Matthew will continue his playing career at Fayetteville in the fall, and we're excited for what that is going to bring him. So, here you go.
Next, I would like to speak about our men's golf team. Coach Rogers couldn't be here tonight, and I think most of the gentlemen that won awards are all working at Laurel Ridge tonight, so they couldn't be here. But our golf team finished first for the third year in a row as conference champions. Coach Rogers does an excellent job, and we ended up with Hank Bradley being golfer of the year, and all conference was Matthew Mahaffey, Jonas Smith, Eric Loftus, and Micah Devlin. So excellent program and super proud of those guys. Next, I would like to talk about the softball team, which is where my heart truly lies. We had a great year. We ended up 13-9 on the season. Started off a little rough, but had a complete change of direction. The hardest working team that I think I've ever coached, and I'm just so proud of them. All conference selections were Whitney Boone. Whitney is at Florida Gulf Coast College this week for a recruiting trip. Chloe Birch. Chloe is one of the strongest young ladies I think I've ever coached. She ended up throwing out, I think, a total of 15 runners trying to steal this year, hit above 400, and led us in home runs. And then Jaden Moore, she couldn't be here tonight as well. Honorable mention all conference was Gracie Burgess. Shannon Sarles. And Casey Lovelace. All three of those young ladies did an excellent job for us. Gracie and Casey kept the outfield going strong, and Tannen kept the hot corner at third. Pretty much locked down. There wasn't much that got by her, so I'm so proud of you guys. Next, we have women's soccer with Joe Pinkston.
First, thanks for having this to recognize the athletes that were recognized for awards. If you followed our season, somebody could be forgiven for writing us off after the first and whatever it ended up being, but we had a team that had plenty of willpower, plenty of desire to turn it around. Ended up 9-9-4 in the regular season, finished third in the conference, and the 4 players that we had recognized tonight are a huge part of that. So for all conference, we had Jimena Andrade. Kennedy Barker. Kenna Lawing. And for honorable mention, we had Stephanie Castillo Pena. And luckily for us, only 2 of these are graduating, so we have some award winners coming back to lead the charge next year. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Sablack with track. Our track program had the best season they've had in quite some time, and we have a group actually going to nationals soon. I'll let him touch on that.
Thank you very much for having the time or taking the time to let these kids be recognized tonight. I think that's pretty important. Like Coach Morgan said, we've had the best spring track and field season that we have had, definitely since I've been here, probably in a long time. We had a lot of kids this season, all conference, qualify for regionals, qualify for state championships. We're going to recognize a few of them. And something that I'm really proud of is that everybody that we're going to recognize, except for one, will be back with us again next year. So we're looking to do a lot of good things coming up also. And also all these kids that are going to be called up here, they're actually going to get recognized twice, not just once. So they're all getting a couple of things. As far as the boys are concerned, we've got first Evan Bird. Evan Bird qualified for the state championship in the 400-meter dash, and he is also it's okay. These guys have a number of things, a number of accolades. Evan is also part of our men's 4x4 relay team that also was all conference and a state qualifying championship team. Next, we've got Ashton Sutton. And Ashton is part of our men's 4x4 team as well. Both these guys also are conference, all conference. And two other members of our men's 4x4 team that couldn't be here tonight, Ben Frazier and Mason Putnam. So these guys, great job with them. And now moving on to the women's, all of these girls, they're going to be recognized twice as well. They are all conference and they're part of the state qualifying championship team. This is our girls 4x4 team. First we've got Bailey Connor. And Chandler Lowry's next. And then we've got Ariel McElreath. And finally, we have Avery Ponder. And I would also like to recognize Sam Morgan for shot put and discus. She couldn't be with us here tonight either. These kids did a great job, and like I said, all but one of them is going to be back with us next year. Thank you.
Just like to add thank you for your continued support for Pisgah Athletics. It truly means a lot and makes a huge difference in everything we do for our kids daily. Thank you.
All right, next up, we do have some Sportsman's Club with us. Canton, Bethel, and Pisgah. And David and Chad Franklin will be here to present that.
David is retired. Nathan Edwards has stepped up and helped with Canton and Pisgah, and I'll let him do Canton and Pisgah awards, and then I'll do Bethel.
All right, like you said, my name is Nathan Edwards. I'm the head coach for the Canton Middle School Sportsman's Club. This year is my first year being the head coach of that. I've really enjoyed doing that with these kiddos. Even the kids that have not been recognized tonight, they're a really talented group of kids. I'd like to start off first by saying our district results. We placed third in orienteering, third in shotgun, and third overall. And one of our individuals on the shotgun team, Dawson Henson, placed second in shotgun individually. At the state, these 5 boys that are here tonight placed third in shotgun in the state, and they were, let's see, we got them listed here. All right, we got Keaton Mason, He's an 8th grader this year, graduate. Junior Sizemore. Hunter Edwards. Landon Wilson. And Dawson Henson could not be here tonight. That's a group of them. Yep. I also do help with Pisgah. So Pisgah next there stuff. All right, I'm the archery coach for the Pisgah High School Sportsman's Club there. They're a phenomenal group of shooters we have. And at district, Pisgah High School Sportsman's Club, they placed first in shotgun, second in rifle, and second in archery, and second overall. And I think tonight we're going to recognize Jake Henson at district for his first place individually. Then at state, the archery team was first in the state as the high school team. We got Jake Henson. All right, Kyler Franklin. Jonah Smith not with us tonight. We had Heidi Lanning. And Caden Carson.
I do want to thank a few people. I know Ms. Parrish has been with me my whole career, I guess you could call it, at Bethel Middle. If you could get her DNA and put that into every principal, that's what we need. Her support for the kids is unmatched by anybody that I've seen and noticed and been around. She's the principal I dealt with the most, obviously, but not only for the shooting teams, not only for basketball teams, for wrestling, she's there to support the kids. So, Ms. Parrish, thank you for your support over the years. Jenny and all the help that I have at the school, at the front office, thank you for everything the running that you do for us during the year. One more person I do want to talk, and I've never met this guy, and I don't know if y'all know him or not, but Mr. George Freeman, who owns the property there across the baseball fields. If you know him, or know D. Hanson, please tell them how much we appreciate them letting us shoot on their property. As y'all know, this has been a long process to find a place that we can call home, and I think we have that now. The first year that we didn't get a complaint, so that's good. So if you know Mr. Freeman, please pass his appreciation on to us. If there's anything we can do for him, his property, or if you know Dee Henson is helping us work with that too as well, just letting them know how much we appreciate that. But like I said, this is the first year that we've not had any complaints at all during our shotgun practices, and we've shot there a bunch. And it looks like he's gonna let us turn that into a 22 range and a shotgun range next year, which will save me about an hour and a half, 2 hours every Saturday. So a big help to me. So if you know them, thank you. With no further ado, I would like to introduce the YHEST 2023 state champion overall state champion team. We've been on the verge of this on the Bethel side for many years. We fell short for the last 4 or 5 years. It seems like just something that didn't click and it didn't happen. I knew when this bunch come up as 5th graders, we had something special, and I knew what we were going to do. Majority of them are 7th graders, and we get a big majority of them back next year. So I'm excited. Bethel has become one of the best teams in the state, and it's because of the kids and the parents behind me. So, and the parents have been a big help for me this year as well. So, district tournament, we pretty much swept the gamut. We finished 2nd in shotgun, finished 1st archery, 1st orienteering, 1st in rifle. We took every 1st individual at the district tournament for each of those disciplines. State, we finished 1st in shotgun, finished 3rd in archery, 4th in 22, and we don't want to talk about orienteering, but it didn't kill us for a change. So that was a good day. And then we finished 1st overall by, I think, 24, 25 points. There was over 4,000 kids, over 300 teams participated in the program this year. So I'm excited for the kids and what they've done and their hard work, and it paid off. Eli Holland won 1st archery district, 1st state in individual archery. He participated on the archery, shotgun, rifle, and orienteering teams. Aiden Sarles, district tournament, 1st in rifle, 1st overall at district tournament, 3rd rifle at state, and 3rd in overall individual at state. And he participated on all 4 teams as well. Tyler Sailors is not with us tonight. He finished 1st at the district tournament in shotgun and 1st. I was in here. He made it in. There he is. When did you slip? Tyler was on the shotgun and on the rifle team. Levi's not with us tonight unless he's come in. He was 1st orienteering individual, and Levi was an 8th grader who shot the other disciplines as well and could have made what we would call the B team or the 2nd team and been a stout B team, but chose to take the orienteering and take that and own that, and that's the 1st individual that we've ever had, Bethel's ever had at that discipline. So made a big difference in our state score as well. Nash Griffith finished 4th in individual shotgun at state. He participated on the archery team and the shotgun team. Caleb Glantz shot on the shotgun team and the rifle team. Mason Young participated on the rifle team. My favorite archer, Kate Franklin, participated on the archery team. Tanner Nichols participated on the archery team. Layla Melton participated on the orienteering team. Tegan Harris participated on the orienteering team. So, just to brag on Tegan and Layla, I give them the option. The kids that stand in front of you right now are putting up numbers as 5th and 6th graders that we've never seen. Every one of these kids standing in front of you would made high school teams at their discipline. That's how good they are. So when it come time to make cuts, it was difficult. So I offered Tegan and Layla the opportunity. Tegan participated last year on 22 team and the orienteering team. I give them the opportunity to either drop down and shoot on the B team and miss the opportunity, possibly miss the opportunity at state, to go to state. And they wanted to opt out and not shoot, not do the fun stuff, but do the studying and buckle down and be part of the team. So I want to thank them for that. And they didn't get to do none of the fun stuff after March, but they were part of the team and pushed them over the top and get us where we needed to be. I also want to thank the coaches, Mike Frazier, Trey Franklin, and Sam Holland standing behind me, and my parents as well. These are it's been a good year, and it's a good group of kids, and I'm excited for next year. I got 4 8th graders standing in front of you, but we've got a bunch of 6th and 7th graders who are pushing are just as good or better than they are this year. So we're excited to see what happens next year. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'll jump right in with our next agenda item, which is a mental health support personnel report. This is required by House Bill 75, General Statute 115C-316.2, School Mental Health Support Personnel Reports. Definition: for purposes of this section, the term school mental health support personnel refers to school psychologists, school counselors, school nurses, and school social workers. Local report. No later than February 15 of each year, the superintendent of each local school administrative unit shall report the following information to the local Board of Education of the unit. We're a little behind, but we're getting her done. The total number of each category of school mental health support personnel employed in the unit, the difference from the previous school year, and the total number of each category of school mental health personnel employed in the unit. So, school psychologists, in 21-22, we had 5 of those, and in 22-23, we have 6. School counselors, in 21-22, we had 19. In 22-23, we had 19. School nurses, we had 8 in 21-22 and 8 in 22-23. School social workers, we had 5, and that held the same for 22-23. In clinical social workers, we had 2, and for 22-23, we have 3, so that's an increase. Mental health behavior assistants, in 21-22, we had 2, and in 22-23, we had 10. So that's an increase. We've increased the mental health support we have from 21-22 to the 22-23 school year by 10. So that's an increase. Any questions about the school mental health support?
Any questions, board? Dr. Putnam? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to drop back just a little bit and say congratulations to all the athletes that we recognize tonight. I want to congratulate the folks that spent a lifetime in our school system that retired tonight. Congratulations on the many years of service that you've provided to Haywood County schools, and the kids are better for your hard work and dedication to the system. We have had one individual sign up to address the board. Let me get to my little speech here. Now is the time period designated by the Board of Education for public comments. This time is set aside for comments from the general public in regard to matters of concern to the public. However, we request that you do not address specific students and/or personnel. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board requests that all speakers adhere to the time limitation and request against mentioning individual students and personnel. We have Miss Randy Braun. It's fine.
There's only 2. So first, I just want to say thank you for allowing the time and the space for parents to come and share concerns. And so today I bring with you concerns of a disciplinary action plan assigned to my son at Pisgah High School. So less than 30 days left in graduation, which keep in mind he's never been sent to the office or referred to the office, so this was his first offense. The disciplinary action was sent to administration due to disruptive behavior in the weight class. So I contacted the school, arranged a meeting to discuss with administration to gain further clarification of what this entailed. So upon this issue, the administration shared that my son was not participating in weights, and which consisted of him sitting in the corner wearing blue jeans and playing on his cell phone, which according to the student handbook, the teacher has the right to take the phone away and contact me, and I would come to the school to pick up the phone, which is part of the communication. The principal shared that he had videos of my son horseplaying in the weight room. I asked to view the videos as well as my son, and I was refused. That is a violation of board policy 4700. The weight coach was brought into the meeting, and he shared that he didn't have a problem with my son horseplaying in his class, but at the same time, he was caught on video. He shared that this had been going on since mid-January, but I was never informed until this disciplinary action was already in place and assigned to my child. And I had asked after the meeting with the administration for an appeal via email, and also requesting the school plan for management of student behavior. I received no response. I also included the superintendent on that email as well, so that all communication was clear and concise with all parties. So I met with the superintendent and his assistant and shared my concerns about the policy, and followed up with upheld by the employees. So like I said, my student was punished to 1 day of ISS. It took the assistant superintendent 10 to 15 minutes to locate Pisgah High School's discipline grid, which is not located on the website at the time. 2 days after my meeting with the superintendent, he did have it placed on the website now. But keep in mind, the last time it was revised is 6/17/2019. We've had COVID, and there's been changes in students' behavior, changes in our world, in our workplaces. So the assistant superintendent also shared that it wasn't on the school website, and it's not located in the school the student handbook. So according to your policy 4341, parent involvement and student behavior issues. So school employees are expected, as part of the school's student behavior plan, to identify strategies that involve parents. I was never involved or invited until after the fact. It was until after that discipline. So Pisgah's high school grid was last revised on 2019. So my recommendations is that the policy match the discipline grid. There's not one place on the discipline grid that first states parent involvement. So it's not about who's right, but it's about what's right for our kids. And how can we build a sense of community without communication and transparency?
Thank you very much for your comments, Ms. Braun. All right. Board members, you've had an opportunity to look at the May 8th closed and regular session minutes and the June 8th closed session minutes. Need a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Henson, second by Mr. Nesbitt. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next, Ms. Barker's up.
Chairman Francis and members of the board, you should have received a copy of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding from the Haywood Health and Human Services. And that is our school nurses contract. We contract with them and we revise it every year. There weren't any big changes in that this year. I would just like to ask for your approval for that.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Barker?
Do you have any questions? Yeah.
I need a motion for.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with the Health and Human Services Agency for school nurses.
Mr. Clark's made a motion. Do I hear?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Morris. Any question or discussion on the motion? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
I wanted to make a point that we only have 8 nurses, but we have 15 schools. So that we do have to share those.
Yes, ma'am.
We hope that's not always the case in the future.
Amen.
Thank you for that. I agree.
All right. Next, we have Miss Francis. She's got us some child nutrition bids, I think.
I do. Chairman Francis, members of the board, I'd like to request your approval on extensions of some school nutrition bids. I have a milk bid with Dean Foods, year 3 of a possible 5-year term. I have a miscellaneous beverage bid with Pepsi, which would be year 4 of a possible 5-year term. A chemical bid with Alco Soap and Supply, year 5 of a possible 5-year term. Our food and supply bid with U.S. Food Service, year 2 of a possible 5-year term. Our produce bid with Marvin's Produce, year 2 of a possible 5-year term. And our ice cream bid with Hershey's, which is year 2 of a possible 5-year term.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the child nutrition items and for the food services as presented.
Mr. Rogers made a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So, Mr. Clark, any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And those bids have been good that they've gone for extended periods of time so we can have some consistency there in the planning, I'm sure. Thank you. All right. We have another Ms. Barker item on the agenda.
Yes, this, Chairman Francis and members of the board, when we received the Innovative Partnership Grant for Central Haywood High School 3 years ago, that grant is coming to an end. The funds, however, those are federal funds and they don't expire till the end of September. So I would just like to ask that we do have some money left in that grant and we can continue to use that money until the end of September. So it would just be an extension from the services that have been provided by Ed Direction till the end of September, federal money only.
Okay.
I would just like to ask your approval for that.
Come out of that pot of money.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I make a motion, we continue the ed direction grant, please.
I'll second.
Mr. Nesbitt made a motion, second Ms. Morris. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Barker. Board members, we had asked the community for anyone that was interested in serving on the Haywood Community College Board of Trustees, and there again, we had Mr. Caleb Rathbone was eligible for a second term on that board, and he did apply. He asked if he should be here tonight, and I said, well, you were the only one that applied, and I don't think that there's any questions, but he did make himself available if we ever want him to come and present to us what's happening, you know, in his position there at the Haywood Community College. He'd be glad to come and share with us. I would recommend that we do reappoint Mr. Rathbone back onto the Haywood Community College Board of Trustees.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we approve Caleb Rathbone for another term with the Haywood Community College's Board of Trustees.
Okay, Mr. Rogers made a motion. I hear a second. Second, Mr. Clark. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Ms. King, would you please inform the college as well as Mr. Rathbone of his appointment for another term on the Haywood Community College Board of Trustees? And congratulate him as well. Thank you. All right. Next, we have our policy meister, Mr. Haynes.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, we only have 5 policies up for second read this month. We finished our policy manual that gets sent to us from the State School Board Association, and so we reviewed some policies that you all asked about at the last policy committee, but we didn't have any new ones. So I would ask that the 5 that we had for first read at the last meeting, you approve those 5 policies, please.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the second reading of the 5 policies, please.
Okay. Mr. Nesbitt made a motion, second Mr. Rogers. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And I just real quick wanted to mention the 2 policies that you all last board meeting asked the policy committee to look over and review. We talked about them in work session, but just briefly, we looked at the code of conduct, the student code of conduct, which is 4300, as well as 4300R, which is the regulation that goes along with it. Policy committee felt confident in both of those policies. They thought they were sound. The regulation really has kind of the district discipline grid and the steps of what can be given as discipline at each level: elementary, middle, high, first offense, second offense, third offense, that kind of thing. So, like I said, the policy committee felt good about all of that. They did, however, start a discussion about the schools and just making sure that all of our elementary schools, our middle schools, our high schools, that their discipline grids are aligned, that they are the same at those levels. So, you get a kid at Tuscola that gets in trouble for something, they should get the same first offense at Pisgah. Now, there's principal discretion in there, so there's a little bit of leeway depending on the situation and what exactly happened, but as far as first offense, it should be the same. And our schools do that already, but sometimes those get a little unaligned, and so we're just gonna set up a time through group alike for them to come together and really work on that, do that, and have those discipline grids aligned.
Okay.
Second thing was the administering medicine to students policy, which is 6125. Again, the policy committee reviewed it. Nurse Kelly Martin Hicks, who's the lead nurse for the district, she came in, talked to us, and we felt like the policy itself of administering medicine to students was strong and that it was solid. However, we could do things to just fine-tune the process and do our very best to take any human error out of administering medicine. It's a big task for our front desk people to do, or front office staff to do, if the nurse isn't there or we don't have a full-time nurse at that school. But generally they do a very, very good job with that, so we brought up some things such as having the students say their name and their birthday, Maybe it is their picture on the pill bottle, or maybe there's a sheet that's got a picture of the pill and a picture of the student that goes in a plastic bag, and then the bottle of medicine's in that plastic bag as well. All Ziploc together, maybe a more secluded, quiet place to administer medicine so there's less distraction. Just some things we can work on. So Nurse Kelly was going to talk with the nurses, come up with some of that stuff, maybe more so than those ideas, and then we were going to discuss that at our next principals meeting and try and, push that out and get that going for next school year.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haynes, and would you like to add anything? You're on the policy committee with us.
Mr. Haynes has pretty well explained it, but yes, that was a big conversation because, like you said, distribution of medicine is a very, very touchy situation, and we want to make sure we get it right. And like I say, Nurse Kelly, she was really good about open to help make sure that we do what we need to do, and they're doing what they need to do to make it all safe for all children and families, and like I say, all the regulations we did on the other codes, and making everything the same and equal for all schools as far as their code of conduct.
Very good.
So everything went real well, so.
Well, I just would
Thank
like
the
to
rest of the
say,
policy committee.
when we have a concern, we address it and send it to our policy committee or try to get something resolved in this issue. And I appreciate the fact that y'all responded to this request that we've had and a couple of requests from board members. And we're listening to our folks and parents. So thank you very much for
Yes, sir.
addressing that for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now it's time for our Finance Committee Chair, Mr. Ronnie Clark. I think he's got a few items we need to talk about tonight, some regular monthly reports and a couple of things that came out of finance.
Yes, Mr. Francis, I have, I want to bring, the Finance Committee reviewed the monthly financial reports earlier and everything looks good, so I need approval for those, please.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Clark, second Mr. Rogers on the regular monthly financial reports. Are there any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
So I need approval for the June budget amendments and revisions resolutions.
Okay. You have a motion, Mr. Clark. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Henson. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And finally, I need approval for the 2023-2024 interim budget resolution.
Okay. We have a motion, Mr. Clark. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Morris. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That got the finance piece?
So that's all we have. Thank you.
Okay. Next, I think we have Ms. Garland. Come up. Okay, I'm going to do it right after that.
Okay.
I'm filling in for Miss Garland. She had to step out. Budget amendment number 9. This budget amendment adjusts the budget for additional state and federal funds received. The amendment to the capital outlay fund adjusts the budget for state-funded payments on several yellow buses, and the budget amendment to the special revenue fund adjusts the budget for additional Medicaid, preschool, and insurance funds received.
Okay.
You know, many of the programs we engage in and products or equipment we purchase, it's billed in arrears. We have to pay it.
Okay. We need a motion for approval.
Motion to approve budget.
Mr. Henson's made a motion to approve budget amendment number 9. Do I hear a second? Second,
I'll
Mr.
second.
Clark. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Now, Building and Grounds had some items, and we had one that I added as well, so we'll do yours first if you'd like.
Okay, the Building and Grounds would like to make a motion to approve the purchase of dining room tables for Tuscola High School and Pisgah High School from the Due National Public Seating in the amount of $139,284.19 using child nutrition funds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Burnett Second, Mr. Nesbit. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Our next motion is to approve the amended lease with SOAR Incorporated at 72 Virginia Avenue, Waynesville.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Burnett on that. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Nesbit. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the next motion is to approve the purchase of a commercial vertical roof building from Express Carport for the Tuscola Farm structure to be paid for by grant monies already received.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Burnett, second from Ms. Marshall. I think she just beat you a little bit, Jimmy. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anything else from Building and Grounds?
That's all.
Okay. I did want to talk a bit tonight, get some board input on a concern or a question I have. We've recently learned that there's a possibility that we could receive some money from the state in the amount of $20 million, I believe is what was stated in a press release from Representative Mark Pless. And I think there was a note in there saying it needed to be in Clyde specifically for the use of Central Haywood High School is the way I read that. And I just wanted to get some board conversation about this. The money, we weren't expecting it. We weren't, informed until I think Friday about the possibility of these funds. And just wanted to get some thoughts and about Central Haywood High School and the stipulation of where it would be located, and it was news to me. I'll be honest with you.
I'd like to say something, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate Mark Pless, going for money for this community, but at the same time, I was to ask him to stay in his lane. He was elected to get money for Haywood County, and that's what we need him to do. But we were elected, this board was elected to decide what to do with that money. And so I personally do not like him putting conditions on funds with something that we probably could not do anyway. I mean, there's nowhere to put it unless we put it in a floodplain. So that's all I have to say, but thank you.
The way I see it is that most all of the land, there's no land available in Clyde that's not in the floodplain, and that's what we're trying to do is to get out of the floodplain. But also, I see right now that our Central Haywood students are doing well, are perfectly fine at the old Central Elementary. School is working fabulous for them, and once we get IT moved out of there and the other facets that are having to share that school, they have that whole school to themselves, and it's a great school, a great location, and I think that we don't have a reason to build another school right now.
I appreciate the money from Mr. Pless, but I think Canton Middle School, probably the oldest school in the county, if we get a grant or a fund from Representative Pless, will be better served at a Canton Middle School or one of our aging schools.
I agree with that too, Mr. Chairman. Putting stipulations upon that money there, like we've said before, with the mill closing, with situations going on in this county right now, our student population may decline. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully it increases. If we bring new jobs, new people into this county, and families. And again, like Mr. Nesbitt said, we have more aging facilities due to Central Haywood High School that are in more of a dire need of our funds. And I too, I appreciate the offer of hoping to find us $20 million for Haywood County schools. Again, we need to use that money that best fits the needs for Haywood County schools, not necessarily a Central Haywood High School. like Ms. Marta said, there was for years, I always asked, why can't we get Alternative Learning Center and Central Haywood High School together? You know, and it's happened. They are together in the same facility. They're sharing resources that they have in that facility. And again, there's nowhere in Clyde to build a building without being in the floodplain or land available that would be feasible for us in that aspect. So I don't like the idea of being pinpointed to use it only for that specific use. I hope we can get that changed and be a wider variety of usage for the best for our school system.
Well, do you think that we ought to communicate maybe to Representative Pless that we like the idea of the funds, but give us a little bit of latitude on where we feel it'd be best used? I mean, we've studied this thing for years.
I think
We know where our, and our enrollment unfortunately is going down, and building a brand new high school right now with our enrollment going down and needs of, repairs to the existing structures that we have and other facilities that could be updated and centralized. And anyway, does everybody kind of agree to that wording? Maybe a document could be drawn up or a email or something from the board. Dr. Putnam, could you help us?
I'll facilitate the pleasure of the board. I'm happy to reach out via phone call, email, letter, whatever you'd like.
Well, I think it would be necessary to do that.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll be happy to write a letter if you want me to.
we will. We'll let Dr. Putnam.
Okay.
Now, what we could do, Dr. Putnam, if you would, you got the flavor of the conversation.
I do.
We'll send out a draft to the board members before the final letter goes out and let everybody have a look at it. And thank you, Ronnie, for your offer. That's great. But let's get everybody together on a letter coming from our central office. Everybody okay with that?
Sir.
All right. Now, if I forgotten anything else that we need to do right now, I know we got the rest of the agenda to go, so anyway. Dr. Putnam, I believe you're up next on the agenda. It's my understanding we want you to write a letter to Representative Pless expressing our concerns about the stipulations on the money.
Yes, sir.
We'll wrap it up with
I will
that.
push that out to all of you for approval.
Okay,
We can edit, adjust, and advise.
okay, thank you.
All right, next is item number 24, distribution of a Western North Carolina needs survey. We discussed this ad nauseum in the work session. The purpose of this survey is to gain a sense of the demographic information throughout the county. It's at no cost to us. It's in partnership with EdNC and a consortium of other people, Town of Canton, Haywood County government, and so forth. So it's information that all of us need in planning, budgeting, and preparing subsequent years.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the distribution WNC needs survey.
Okay.
I think it's a real good timing on that as well.
Okay.
A second, we could know the
Motion,
future
Mr.
to plan
Okay,
for our enrollment, and how the meal closing is going to affect our county.
so we can better plan.
Yes.
Seconded by Ms. Morris. Any other questions or comments on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item is a proposal from Numerix. Just real briefly, Numerix is a company that has successfully did 10-year planning and forecasting for school systems like Alamance, Burlington, following plant closures. And their proposal is $20,000 to $24,000 to complete the work. Our part in that is we will have to provide some student data and some information that will help them in their study. However, we'll still have to comply with all federal and state laws in compliance with release of student data.
Confidentiality stuff, yep, okay.
Absolutely. And again, that is needed. We have written a grant through Dogwood Health Trust. Hopefully we'll get the grant. It applies or asks for the complete study, which also looks at capital, all of your land that you own and all assets, and help you focus and consider all of the assets you have and where you need to maximize those assets and where you need to downsize or minimize those assets. So I just think for future planning purposes, given the mill closure and declining enrollment and other economic factors, I think it's beneficial information to have. It can be provided from a non-biased third party. The cost of the school system, the county's going to pay a portion, and again, EdNC and philanthropists are going to pay for this first phase. If or when we get the Dogwood Health Trust grant, we could use some of that money toward investing in the further capital study or assessment study.
Okay.
But just for clarification, no cost, they would pay the schools.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the proposal.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Henson. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Burnett. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor?
Said there's no cost to us, even though it's in the form, that's without any of the grants coming through, correct?
That's correct. I already have donors committed to that. I have committed to the county.
That's
and
what I thought. Because I missed Thursday's work session, so sorry.
Yes.
I know we discussed that. Thank you.
And one more thing, if we get the grant, it will go back to the
Yeah, it
donors.
goes back to the donors. Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I believe you're still up on the personnel.
Yes, sir. And we've got lots of people anticipating eagerly this final item, the personnel. For information, we have 35 separations from employment. We have 1 ESS long-term substitute. We have 31 employee status changes, 10 leave of absences, and 24 student interns. Again, all of that information, all of that is for information.
Okay.
For approval, we have 4 employments. We have 135 employee status changes, and I have a request to pull number 60. We voted on separately.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do a motion up to that point. And number 60 is being pulled, and Mr. Nesbitt is asked to recuse himself on number 60, and we'll do it after that fact, so he can vote on this part of it. I need a
Chairman,
motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the personnel as presented to this point.
Okay, Mr. Rogers made a motion.
Second.
Second, Mr. Nesbitt. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll vote on number 60, if I can get a motion.
Make a motion, we approve. Number
Second.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Henson, seconded by Ms. Morris for number 60, and Mr. Nesbitt is not going to be required to vote on this. It's a family member. So we'll honor that. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously, except with one abstention. Carry on.
We have one leave of absence, 50 staff coaches. And again, if that sounds funny, remember, we have to bring them on as full-time employees now, so
Yeah.
rather than contracted services. So 50 staff coaches, 6 volunteer services, and then we have 147 teacher contracts and a request to pull number 110.
Okay.
Item number 110 in teacher contract.
Okay, number 110, Ms. Morris is asked to be abstained from this vote due to being a family member, so we'll take up the motion from at this point.
I'll make the motion to approve up to this point.
Okay, Mr. Clark's made a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Henson. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now,
Chairman, at this time, I'd make a motion that we approve number 110.
Mr. Rogers made a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Clark. And again, Ms. Morris is not going to vote due to it being a family member. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously with one abstention.
All right, and at this time, what we've all been waiting for, drum roll, we got a lot of people been waiting very patiently, so thank you for that. We've got several new positions. Again, you remember in Thursday's work session, I talked to you about a hybrid. Kudos to our principals for being creative and finding a way to take the resources they have and put those together and utilize them in a new way. So hybrid positions are APs/lead teachers, instructional coaches. And this occurred where we had maybe we had a half-time assistant principal and a half-time lead teacher. Those were put together into a hybrid position, which I think is brilliant on the part of our principals. First, at Bethel Elementary School, Ms. Watson, would you like to come up and introduce your new AP/lead teacher?
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Haynes, all of you waiting patiently. I'm not going to take long, but I'm just beyond thrilled for the opportunity for Ms. Emily Fama, lead teacher at Bethel Middle School that I have had the pleasure of working with for the last 5 years very closely, to come to the elementary school and work alongside me. If I could describe Emily in 3 words, it would be hardworking, loyal, and oh so wise. That may be more than 3, but she is just so wise and so smart and so fun. And we've had the pleasure of working under Miss Paris these years as well, and we're going to miss her. So kudos to you and Miss Hollingsworth that left earlier today. I'm just so thankful for them. But Miss Emily Fama.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, everyone. I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you for the opportunity to serve and lead with Ms. Watson. It's going to be such an honor and privilege, and I'm looking forward to that. Also, I've been blessed beyond measure to teach and lead at Bethel Middle for so many years, and I'm grateful to all my family and friends who have supported me and prayed for me throughout the years and encouraged me with this new endeavor. Bethel is a special, special place, and I am excited to start this next chapter with wonderful people and families at Bethel Elementary. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
And next we have Bethel Middle School. Miss Amanda Baldwin, would you like to come and introduce your new AP lead teacher?
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Haynes, I am very excited to announce Ms. Courtney Myers as the new assistant principal for Bethel Middle School. She has worked 10 years in Haywood County schools at various schools. She has a lot to offer and bring to Bethel Middle. There were 2 things that stood out to me during her interview. One of those is her love for Bethel, the students of Bethel, the community of Bethel. She highlighted the impact that Bethel had on her as she grew up and went through Bethel. She wants to give that back to the students of Bethel. The second thing, and I quote from her interview, "I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and get to work." So I'm so excited to start the year with Courtney Myers.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, and Mr. Thank you for the opportunity to assist Ms. Baldwin as her lead teacher and assistant principal at Bethel Middle School. It has been my dream to hold a leadership position in Haywood County since I began teaching 10 years ago. I will continue to keep the best interest of children before me, along with a data-driven mindset. I am thankful for my supportive husband who continues to support my career dreams, and my parents who have been my lifelong cheerleaders. I am humbled by the path God continues to pave for myself and my family. I am grateful for the influential leadership of Susan Savage, Wendy Rogers, Kim Chipman, Heather Hollingsworth, and Jill Mann. Each of these leaders have shown me ongoing encouragement and love. I am very appreciative of Jill Mann, who trusted me to help lead North Canton Elementary as lead teacher, and supported me as my mentor while working towards my MSA. As a Bethel girl who has, alongside my husband, chosen to raise our family in the Bethel community, I am eager to get back to my roots and join Ms. Baldwin and the Bethel Middle family to continue the tradition of Bethel the Beautiful, Bethel the Best. Go Big Blue. Thank you.
And next we have Canton Middle School's new AP lead teacher. Mr. Casey Crook will introduce his selection.
Come on up, we can stand here together. Thank you all for having us. We appreciate you recognizing our people, recognizing our athletes, recognizing our teachers, our retirees, and all these people, and joining in these accomplishments with us. I want to take a minute to introduce Miss Leslie Buchanan. She is going to be joining us at Canton Middle School. She was an all-star teacher at Riverbend Elementary. She was the Title I lead coach. I'm going to angle this way, so if Kim Shipman throws rocks at me, they'll glance off of me instead of hitting me directly. But she has been working with Kim Shipman and Jill Barker at Central Office, working with our elementary schools and doing a wonderful job with reading, with literacy. I called her a couple years ago and I said, Leslie, I need some help. I've got an English degree, but I don't know how to teach reading. That's not part of my training. I can say that out loud because that's actual. It's not really part of my training. I was a high school English teacher. But she not only came over, but about 3 days later, she gave me more reading than I could have done in 5 lifetimes on literacy and reading and everything else. I've been impressed with her every time I've seen her. I've been impressed with her at professional development, the way she teaches, the way she leads, and I'm so thankful to be introducing her and welcoming her to Canton Middle School. Leslie Buchanan.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Haynes. Words cannot fully express the gratitude that I have for this leadership opportunity at Canton Middle School. I'm so honored to join alongside Mr. Crook, his faculty and staff, and the members of the Canton community. It's no secret that this school has seen its share of challenges over the past few years, but its resiliency speaks volumes to the leadership and support of Haywood County Schools and the community. I would like to express my thanks to Mrs. Jill Chambers for her leadership nudge, and Mrs. Kim Shipman and Ms. Carly Wells for their mentorship, my family for their support and their love, and finally to all of the students that I've had the privilege to teach over the past few years. I would not be here without them. Thank you, and go Bears.
Next, we have Clint Connor, if he could come and introduce his new assistant principal.
Mr. Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, and Mr. Haynes, I appreciate you having us at the meeting tonight. I'd like to introduce our new assistant principal at Pisgah High School, Mr. Jesse Wilkins. Just a couple facts about Jesse. He does a lot of things at Pisgah High School. He was an outstanding English 2 teacher, one of the top in the region, and had great success doing that. Jesse also coached many sports at Pisgah with tremendous leadership. Jesse started a student council government at Pisgah High School that has adapted the culture of Pisgah and done tremendous things. He has started an emerging leadership class that continues to do things. He plans homecoming activities. He's the last one at ball games picking up. He does pep rallies when no one wants to do it. He also does homecoming dances on his spare time as well. There's just a lot of things that he does, and it wasn't unnoticed. When you think about Pisgah High School, you think about Jesse Wilkins, and we look forward to his leadership. I'd like to thank his parents, Danny and Anita, for supporting Jesse. Miss Cope is going to be working alongside him at the table with us. I appreciate you coming. I think she has a gift for you, Jesse, so we look forward to it. Thank you very much, Jesse Wilkins.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, and Mr. Haynes, I am humbled and grateful to be chosen as assistant principal at Pisgah High School. I cannot wait to serve the amazing Pisgah High School students, faculty, community in a greater capacity. When I came to Pisgah 6 years ago, I never dreamed I would be standing here today with this opportunity. I thank God for his blessings and perfect timing. Haywood County Schools is a special place with many incredible people. Since coming to Haywood County, I've had nothing but exceptional experiences. My time in grad school, my interim, and the Aspiring Admin Academy have given me insight and prepared me for this new role. I would have not gotten to this point without a lot of help from great teachers, coaches, and admin. Mr. Connor and Ms. Barker, thank you for believing in me and investing in me and for giving me a chance. Coach Crook, I know you're about to be Dr. Cook, but you'll always be coach to me. And Coach Holloway, thank you for always challenging me and helping me grow as a leader. Amanda Baldwin and Lena Cope and Charlie Emmon, thank you for supporting me and welcoming me as part of the team this past semester. Somehow you never got tired of me, even when I asked what seemed like thousands of questions each week. I also want to thank my family and my parents who are here to support me this evening. I wouldn't be here without you today. As new assistant principal at Pisgah, I'll bring a competitive mindset and always have what is best for kids at the forefront of everything I do. I will love our students, support and equip our staff, and give 110% every day. A wise man once told me that if you stay at Pisgah for very long, you won't ever want to leave. Coach Crook, you were right. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Go Bears. Woo.
And last but certainly not least, I'm going to ask Ms. Barker to come and introduce her new person. And this is the result of a combination, a retirement and a resignation in central office. So 2 positions have been collapsed into 1 director position. But I have no doubts Ms. Barker picked someone fully capable.
Yes, and I could tell stories on each one of them. Can I tell them? Just real quick. Emily Fama, my daughter, came home and said, you should make her a principal right now. When she was at Bethel Middle. I look at Courtney when she was in 8th grade at Bethel Middle. She already ran the school. Like, I knew she was going to be a principal. I told her, I'm like, you're going to be a principal one day. And Leslie is probably one of the great instructional people. And I'm really mad at Casey. And I can't believe you went to work for him. He's going to drive you crazy about all things literacy. And Jesse, I mean, you, the gift you gave my child in that emerging leadership class, and every student at Pisgah, like, you're made for this. So I'm just so proud of everyone tonight. But I'll tell you what, I just want to say, first of all, 2 things. Lisa Thompson has been, she's had to relocate due to the mill closure. So I hate losing her in federal programs. She came at a time with ESSER money was huge, and Dr. Bill and she and Dr. Putnam and I really worked hard, and she caught on quick. So I hate that we're losing her. So we wish her all the best. She's going to Wilmington. Also, Carol Fox, who has been in our district for many, many years, is retiring, and she's going to be a true loss too. So, and I could talk about her. Casey and I and Casey Connor wouldn't have made it at Pisgah that year if we couldn't have called Carol at Tuscola. So I'll never forget that, and everything she's done to help me in between. But we are collapsing those positions, and so I just want to welcome Charlie Emmon to this new position of Title I and high school supervisor. Come on up, Charlie. So when I first got to Pisgah, it was just me. Everyone, I had to hire several assistant principals. Charlie was at home giving birth to this beautiful daughter of hers, DJ, and Braxton was there. I didn't see Charlie. I didn't know at the time she didn't want any germs or any. I'm like, bring that baby in, and Charlie's like, I will in a couple of months. So I didn't see her, but the second she walked in that door, I knew the power of what she could do. I know Clint and everyone that's worked with her will know that. She's probably the smartest person I've ever been around. She has been integral. Yes. She has been integral to the success at Pisgah High School. She is a behind-the-scenes person, but she is a very big reason why Pisgah has had the success academically and otherwise that they have had. She is thoughtful. She is a great mom. I don't know about a wife, Marty, but I'd say she's pretty. Okay, and a great person. So I'm so thankful that she's going to be able to lead our high schools. She knows it a lot better than I do at times. She knows the specifics of credits and transcripts and just all that. So she's going to be a great leader for us. Another funny story is Carol coached Charlie. Carol Fox coached Charlie. So it all comes full circle at the end, people. But anyway, just want to say congratulations. I look forward to working with you again. And sorry, Clint.
When I found out that Charlie was leaving, Lane and Jesse and I started a spreadsheet, and it was titled "Let the Healing Begin." Very long, but I appreciate you working through it.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, and Mr. Haynes, thank you for the opportunity to serve Haywood County Schools in this new role. I'm excited and look forward to expanding my knowledge and impact on students and staff. I'm forever thankful for the past and present administration and staff at Pisgah High School and Haywood County Schools. I have learned a lot and appreciate the time everyone has put into developing me. I would also like to say a special thank you to my family for supporting me and always being by my side. I'm truly blessed, and I thank God because none of this would be possible without him. I will work hard and try my best to validate your decision to allow me this opportunity. Thank you.
That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
It's kind of overwhelming, I will say that. We've got some great folks. Congratulations to each one of you tonight. We're very happy for you, and we're proud of you, and we look forward to working with you for many, many more years. So with that, meeting adjourned.